And welcome to Wit Chat Chats. Come on in and sit for our spell. We're sponsored by Evermoving We Rise, Moonlight Potions and Charms, and of course, Saul Ravencraft, Wizard for Hire. And he is somewhere around here. But I am your goddess host, Miss Nikki Kirby. And let's see, where can we find Saul? Saul, where are you at, my buddy? Where
Here
is
I
my buddy?
am. Hello there.
Oh, there you are.
Glad to be with you.
Whoa, it looks like you're back in the forest again.
It's my backyard. It seemed like a nice day to be out here. We had some pretty crazy storms yesterday, and today it's not supposed to rain, but it's still kind of gray. So good English weather, I guess you'd say.
Well, that's nice. It's supposed to rain all weekend for us.
Hmm.
I'm like, I am so sick of rain.
But we need it. We need it so badly. The lake
Well, you
is
guys do. You guys do. But you
right.
guys can keep the rain for a little while. We are just flushed out of rain up here. So you guys keep the rain. You send it over to California. Okay. You send it that way. Not to us. You send it that way. Okay.
I think our lake's sitting at about 40% right now. So won't turn down any rain.
All right. So you want to know what our divination is?
Oh, of course.
So our divination today. All right. So what I have in my wonderful little teacup here, and no, it's not liquor. I wish it was. That would be nice. We ought to have a whiskey night, Saul. That's what we ought to
Yeah?
have. We ought to have a, Witch Hat Chats whiskey night.
Well, I got a little bit in my coffee today.
I wish I had. That would be nice. I used to put peach schnapps in my tea when I was a teenager. And you couldn't tell the difference. That was what was so cool about it. You could not tell the difference between the tea and the alcohol. Oh, it's that good. It's really, really that good. And I used to get one of my friends really, really drunk. And they couldn't tell. The parents couldn't tell.
Oh, my.
Yeah. But anyway, I have got, let's see, which tea did I put in here? Oh, yes, I put in the Clarity tea from the Kitchen Gourmet Witch. I put it in here today. So you can go to the kitchengourmetwitch.com. We had her last season, I believe. She has written a book as well. We had her on here on the show. And this tea is absolutely wonderful. If you need to have clarity, it's great. It's a great tea to be able to have. I absolutely recommend it. She's great. So our divination for today, I actually got this off of my morning walk, and it says, and I quote, "Be the wild card," and I'm going to add something to it. I'm going to add this to it. So here's going to be the whole quote. I'm going to say, "Be the wild card in life." There we go. I think that is going to be awesome. That should be everybody's motto. There we go. Don't you think so, Saul?
Well, I guess to me, when you say being the wild card in life, that means you're the wild card for everybody else, and that may or may not be great. It's like the people that say they're brutally honest, right? And for them, the emphasis for them is on the brutality. They love to watch people's faces when they see the terrible truth and the pain and all of that. You can be kindly honest. Um, so to me, being the wild card, I mean, the wild card is all about chaos, right? And I think you need to be able to embrace chaos, to accept chaos, to work with chaos. But I don't know if you always want to be the agent of chaos for everyone else. That's that Loki energy. And, yeah, there's a place for the trickster, but that may not be what you want to be everywhere all the time, or people won't want to play with you anymore.
Well, the thing about it is, okay, so when it comes to being a female, we're always taught to be good, be quiet, don't rock the boat. And you know where that gets you? Nowhere. It gets you absolutely nowhere. It gets you to the point where you're depressed, you have nothing. That's where it really gets you. It gets you absolutely nowhere as a female. There's an old saying, and it was by Marilyn Monroe, and she said that, and I'm probably going to misquote this. So it's she said, "Tame women never made history." And I know it's not the exact quote of it, but she's right. She's absolutely right. The women that made history were the ones that said, "Oh, I am not going to go away in the night silence.
Right.
I'm actually going to do something. I'm actually going to be the wild card." You know, it's just like I'm going to be doing something and you're not going to stop me. You
Right.
are not going to stop. And so that is what we really need. We need people to speak up, especially during this time when we're having Roe versus Wade overturned, when we're having people being what you call it, discriminated against. And the Supreme Court says, "Hey, that's okay. No big deal. Just throw them out. We don't care if about their color. We don't care about their sexual orientation. We don't care about, you know, anything of them. You can go ahead and throw them out. It's good. It's all good. We're going to go back to the 1950s. It's not a big deal, right? Right. No big deal, especially down where I'm at, and people are talking about this stuff. Really, they're really talking about this stuff, going back to that far,
Right.
and it's stuff like that, really. And then you've got people who are hating other people, and I know people in our community experience this all the time. How you're not liked because of something that you wear, something that you believe, um, just because of who you are. You know, I have been told that I'm weird because I like to walk around in graveyards.
Mm-hmm.
Big deal. I love graveyards. You know why I love graveyards? Is because it's the one place where you can get absolute peace. Everybody is equal. Everybody is equal. Death is the one entity on this earth that doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care. It doesn't care how much money you've got. It doesn't care whether you're a Republican, independent, or a Democrat. It really doesn't. It doesn't care what your age is. It doesn't
Right.
care what your ethnic background is. It doesn't care whether you have a disability or not. It does not give a crap about anything. It's, you know how you see those commercials say shingles doesn't care? That's the same way with death. Death don't care. Death doesn't care if you're healthy or if you're ill. It does not give a crap. It doesn't care whether you're pagan or Christian or Buddhist or Hindu, or it does not care. It doesn't care whether you're drinking or you haven't drunk a glass of wine in your life. It doesn't care. And the thing about graveyards is it helps me to clear my mind. And people always ask me, they say, well, you're a medium. Don't those spirits come and chat your head out? And I'm like, no, they don't. They actually leave me alone. And I have a fun time. But when I'm talking about being the wild card or being the joker, I'm talking about having a purpose and being able to make the change that we want to see in this world.
Right.
That's what
Well,
I'm
and
talking about.
and I do see that you want to be the wild card for things on that level, but I also see where the wild card is not always useful when you're dealing with individuals and situations and that kind of thing. I mean, you know people that they just like to see it burn. They just like to create confusion and that sort of thing. And they're not really trying to fix anything. They're just trying to shake it up. And uh, there's a place for that, but I don't think that that is necessarily the lifestyle that you want to lead, especially magically, because ultimately that becomes a pretty lonely lifestyle. We talked about Loki. Loki ultimately was a pretty lonely figure. Why? Because nobody wanted to deal with his shit. And so when they saw him coming, they they didn't want him involved because they knew he was going to bring chaos and trouble and problems and that kind of thing because he thought that was funny. And uh, mythologically, we need the trickster, but I don't think the trickster as a lifestyle. I used to pretty much be the trickster. That was the way I did things, and ultimately, it was not the best. I had to grow out of it. So uh, I guess it depends to what depth you embrace it, right? For social change, that kind of thing, yeah, instigate, absolutely. But when your friend's trying to get their life together, uh, maybe they don't need the devil's advocate. Maybe they just need someone to love them and help them with the best understanding that you've got. Um, if that makes any sense. Yeah.
It
Sometimes I think
does,
you got to dial it back.
but at the same time, there's a purpose for chaos. Um, because the thing about it is, if we didn't have chaos, there wouldn't be any change at all. As I have said, and Saul, as you have agreed, when it comes to change, if we can make an appointment for it, we would always call and reschedule that appointment. And then we will call again and reschedule it and reschedule it and reschedule it until we just call and say, hey, we'll call you back whenever, we get a chance to reschedule it. Because humans don't like change.
Sure.
So I've learned to appreciate chaos, even though I don't like it myself.
Right.
Um, and you're talking to a Scorpio who has finally agreed with Byron, and And I have an intensive life, and I call my life organized chaos.
Sure.
I just put everything in a little box, and there we go. And I just take it, as I possibly can, and there we go. You know, I just take one breath and like, okay, let's deal with this. Let's just deal. I pick up this box, and we're going to deal with this box today. That's how I have to deal with things. And it's just the way I have to, that's just the way I am. And it takes a while to get that way. And then there's some days where I'm like, I don't want to open a box. Why do I have to open a box? But the thing about it is, when you have chaos, you grow. And it's a personal, healthy growth, supposedly. Um, but we need to be able to respect chaos to a certain degree. And didn't Loki have a wife?
I don't recall, but I mean, that was certainly a very popular thing in mythology, so he must have at some point.
I mean, I don't know that much about Norse mythology, but I think
In
he
the
had a
stories I
wife.
read, I don't recall him having a wife, but I haven't read all the stories that there are about Loki. Um, well, I definitely agree with you that you have to embrace chaos uh, and let chaos happen because that's how the universe gets things done. Especially things that need to change. It uses the forest fire, it uses the flood, it uses very destructive things to wipe the slate and let something else come. And so, if you try to prevent chaos, you are standing in the way of the universe doing what it can do. And you're basically micromanaging your intentions, saying, oh, no, 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 it's got to be done this way and only this way. And I mean, that's trying to put yourself above nature instead of flowing with nature, which is what we should be doing. But you, uh, I again, embracing chaos and letting chaos be a part of things, and not freaking out about it, not trying to prevent it. I think that makes a lot of sense. Um, but be if you choose to be the agent of chaos, there are consequences that come with that, and you need to accept those consequences without whining about it. If you're going to live
Right.
the life of Loki, you have to deal with the stigma of being Loki. You have to deal with people
Mhm.
being upset with you. You have to deal with people not wishing to associate with you because they don't want that stuff in their world. And you can't
Yep.
whine about it. You gotta embrace that. Um, and if that isn't what you want your role to be, then you maybe don't want to stay in chaos. You want to incorporate it, not be afraid of it, but be an agent for peace, perhaps.
But here's the thing: whatever choice you make, it doesn't matter whether it's chaos or not. You still have to deal with the consequences of it or non consequences. And maybe there's always a third or fourth or fifth or sixth choice or seventh or eighth or ninth. It just
Sure.
depends on how you think about it. And it might not be a consequence, it might not be a reward, it may be something completely different. It's all in the mindset. So we need to go to a commercial and be able to hear from our amazing sponsors. And we will be right back with Witch Hat Chats. Stay tuned. Anybody can tell you what is on a tarot or oracle card. What matters is seeing beyond what others may not be able to see and help the client to uncover what lies in the mist. What do readings from Moonlight Potions and Charms do? Wednesday, I did this ancestor reading, and it was an amazing reading. And it was a detailed reading. And I remember talking to this customer's ancestors, and it was so delightful. And he wanted some questions to be answered about the magic in his family because he didn't know. And his family was mostly like most of our families are. You know how everything is like hush hush when it comes to the magic in his family. And he wanted to know who can he actually talk to about the history of the magic in his family. And I was able to give him specifically who he can go to talk to about that. What particular deity he can actually go to be able to help him with this. And it was just an amazing reading, and talking to his ancestors. They were such a delight, and they told me so much about this customer. It was just an absolutely wonderful reading for him. And I was just so happy to be able to give him this wonderful reading. It's really amazing to be able to give people these readings, these products that's really going to help them, and be able to give back to the community, because this is what Moonlight Potions and Charms is about. We want to help you to embrace the power of your own magic. That is what we are all about. It's to help you to do that. Book now and allow our wonderful staff to take care of your spiritual reading needs. And there is so much more in our Wicked store to help you to embrace the power of your own magic. So come on in to Moonlight Potions and Charms at www.moonlightpotionscharms.com and discover the wicked things that ignite the magical passion in you. Have you heard? The King of the Crossroads, Papa Legba, has graciously opened the roads, paving the way for the Papa Legba Altar on the Go to be nominated as Outstanding Product of the Year in the 2024 Witchcraft and Occult Media Awards. Makes Papa Legba Altar on the Go stand out. Complete traveling altar kit. Everything you need for sacred space is right at your fingertips, all neatly arranged in a mystical painter's pail. And it's compact and convenient. A perfect, powerful temporary altar, whether you're a modern nomad, a military soul on the move, or a wanderlust-stricken traveler. It also has additional space for the personal touch. As customization is a key to your spiritual journey, the Papa Legba Altar on the Go leaves room for you to infuse your unique energy. Moonlight Potions and Charms and Papa Legba invites you to join the spellbinding spectacle at the 2024 Witchcraft and Occult Media Awards. Cast your vote for the Papa Legba on the Go as the Outstanding Product of the Year. Your support fuels the magic. Go to https://rb.gy/PC3F11 to cast your vote. Remember, your altar is not just a space, it's a step in your magical journey. Explore the depths of your inner self by visiting Moonlight Potions and Charms at mpcmagic.com. Be ready to embrace the power of your own magic. Have you wondered what spirituality is? Spirituality is limitless, as it does not contain any boundaries on beliefs or practices. Spirituality's most important component is personal experience and allows one to explore it freely. Evermoving We Rise is a spiritual moving tradition. As our name is our lifestyle, because we are persistently rising and moving forward. We realize that everyone's spiritual journey is extremely personal, but more easily traveled with reinforcement. We'll teach you to become friends with your shadow, emerge your authentic self, and give you time and space to develop your own spirituality. And when situations bump back, you'll have the entire community behind you, as we are a magical family who work to sustain each other. Discover the benefits of working within a society dedicated to helping you grow on your personal path. Visit us on our website, Linktree, or Facebook page and discover why we don't fit in the box.
Welcome back to Witch Hat Chats. It is I, Saul Ravencraft. I am here in nature, appropriately, as we talk about chaos, entropy, randomness, all those things that don't go according to plan, or at least not a plan we understand. We get it in life, and we certainly get it in our magical life. And you just got to deal with it, don't you?
Oh, yeah. All right. So we got like what happens when the Joker comes up in your plan, Saul?
Well, the Joker's pretty much always there with me. There's, I mean, I could tell you all kinds of stories about how just casual day to day stuff doesn't go the way that it needs to, and I've just got to figure it out. A One of my catchphrases is, "Why is everything hard?" Uh, right? Because you have something pretty straightforward that you're going to do, and personalities and circumstances and all that just get in the way, and it can be very frustrating. It can make you feel like you don't know if this is going to work out the way that you need it to anymore, and yet you have to persist, because what else are you going to do?
Right. But I mean, how do you adjust to that?
Well, it's not really a conscious thing. It's just my personal mode. I've always been a problem solver, and someone who tries to do a workaround or find another way. There's always a way, but it may not be what you had planned. I deal with a lot of situations where I'm in a support mode for other people, for technology, for theater, and that kind of thing. And you have the plan and it doesn't work. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to do something. I don't know what it is yet. I don't know what my resources are yet. I don't understand the problem yet. But we're going to do something because everything has to move forward. And depending on the circumstance, sometimes I'll pull old knowledge of the way things used to be done and find a way to squeeze that into how we fix this, right? The gadget's not working, but you get me an extension cord and a couple of these things, and we'll get pretty close. With yeah, that's just it's the way with everything. It's like, okay, well, that way's not going to work, so now what? Something. And my brain just naturally goes there, because in general, things have never worked out for me the way they were supposed to. Right? There's always been a twist or a complication or an obstacle or something that has to be dealt with. And if I'd laid down whenever that happened, I would have been dead a long time ago. Yeah, it's just my lifestyle. Um, and I guess the big thing that I do that is something that you could consciously work on is I don't panic. Right? Something isn't going to work out that way. And there's just no way in hell we can make it work that way. And that's not the time to cry. It's not the time to yell. It's not the time to go, well, who could, it's not the time to blame, right?
Right.
It's the time to go, all right, so that's not happening. What else have we got? And I think that I've had several circumstances in the things that I do, especially on the professional side, where something has just not been what it was supposed to be. And I've seen other people in that situation, and they completely freak out. I mean, you've
Hmm.
seen this with stuff that we were doing, Manifestasia and that kind of thing, where something wasn't working. And I would just
Right.
quietly get with you behind the scenes and say, okay, we're not going to be doing it that way for reasons, and we're going to do something else instead. Well, what are we going to do? I don't know. I'm figuring it out. And I will have an answer for you as soon as I have one. And then I do figure something out.
Mhm.
And most of the time nobody even knows there was a problem because it gets
Right.
quietly handled behind the scenes. Um, and that was where you demonstrated some of the same quality when I would come to you and say, well, this isn't going to work. You didn't scream and yell and talk about who was incompetent or anything like that. You just go, well, shit. And then we decide what to do next. And I
Right.
think that's a quality you can have. That's where your need for perfection, your need for everything to go according to plan, that gets into your own shadow work. And that's nature is all about twisting things.
Hmm.
The universe is all about twisting things around. Um, and when we have this idea that we're supposed to be in control, or that everything is supposed to go according to our whims, uh, we're always going to be disappointed. And somewhere, and there's a voice inside there that I've had to fight with that taught me that, well, you're gonna figure it out the best you can. You're gonna plan for it the best you can, but then it's gonna be whatever it is. And you can't yell at people. You can't. Anger gets in the way of getting something done. You gotta have calm at those points and just be able, and I think even more than that, than when you really get good at it, and this is something that's begun to happen to me, not saying that I'm really good at it, but I'm certainly better than I used to be, is when these things happen, instead of anger and frustration, I find myself laughing. I'll do
Right.
something and I drop it and I drop it again. I drop it again. About the third time I drop it, I'm just like, this is so ridiculous. And I'm not angry with myself. Why can't you do this? I recognize that it's ridiculous,
Hmm.
and not being angry, not trying to fight it. That makes a big difference. And I can't tell you exactly how I got from frustration and anger to peace and laughter, because I
It's
don't
called
know that
age.
I. It's called what?
Called age.
Well, yeah, you kind of get used to it. But I do think that I might have done better at it when I was younger, if I just had a better understanding of my relationship to everything. Um, but but I do. suggest to people that find themselves challenged by the anger and the frustration and why me? Why didn't this work the way it was supposed to? Who's doing this to me? You know, that's that's really not productive.
Right.
And it's not truthful either. You can't take this stuff personally. The universe isn't doing this to you. It's just the way nature works. And what next? What do we do now? Now what do we have? Right? And there's always a way,
Right.
but
Right.
it's not about you. So get over yourself.
Right. I mean, with me is well, the first thing I always say, like Saul has said, is I always go, well, shit or damn, and I just okay, there's my frustration. Boom, that's out. And then I go into the problem solving right quick. Okay, what can we do? Let's throw all of our cards right there on the table. Let's get it all done. Okay. Because all my life, like Saul has said, there's always something that has gone wrong, or it will go wrong, or it may go wrong, and I have to have plan B, and in place of plan B, I have to have C, and then I have to have D, and then I have to have E, F, and G, and H and I, and then after you get to Z, you have to have Z A, and then Z B B D, and out, and it just keeps going and going and going and going and going, until the job is done. And the thing about it is what's really so great about having these backup plans is that you get to use what is called your imagination, which is where your magic comes in. And you get to use your little witch, because all you got to do is just ask your little witch, well, okay, this doesn't work, so what can I do to make this work? And a lot of times they'll come up with the most simplest things that an adult would never come up with. And it usually works. Um, Most of the time.
Right.
Right. And
Right.
and and getting frustrated at yourself, number one, you're right, it does not help. It doesn't help getting frustrated with yourself. It doesn't help getting frustrated with people. It doesn't help cussing other people out. And when you got somebody like that, 9 times out of 10, I just turn around and tell that person, okay, you need to go sit down. Sit down, stay out of my way, period, until you chill. And then you can become a more productive person. Okay. Um, because what that ends up doing is you end up spreading that negative energy. We don't need that at the moment. We need a more positive energy to be spread around. Um, you need to have what is it called? Begins with an S, and of course it leaves my mind right now. Serendipity, or Sarah. You know what uh, it'll hit me right after we stop filming. That's what I'll do.
Well, serendipity is things working out,
Not
things
serendipity.
falling into place.
Yeah, serendipity falls into place, but it's another one, and it's similar. But anyway, we all need to get together, and we need to do this. Well, and when you have somebody who has a lot of negative energy and everything, they get frustrated, and then the frustration just spreads. We don't need that. You need just to stay as calm as you possibly can. And laughter does help. It helps a lot. Unfortunately, when it comes to me, I tend to laugh too much and I can't get nothing done. And I do. I do. So I tend not to try not to laugh. I just rather stay as calm as I can and not laugh because I can get to the point where I laugh and I laugh and I laugh and then I have to take my own self out because I laugh too much and I
Right.
can't get anything done. Um, but as far as using the Joker into your magic, yeah, I or the Joker or the wild card, whatever you want to call it. I think it's a good idea to be able to use that because you don't know what you're going to be able to need when it comes to your magic. And you might want to put that little possibility in because the universe may need that for you. You may need some change in order to get what you want. I mean, especially if you need a new house. If you need if you need to um a, a new house or you need to move, well, I'm sorry, but you're going to need the Joker to help you move. Okay?
Right.
You may need that. You may need some type of new job or you may need some other event to be able to help you move. You may need an event that helps you to get more money or something like that. You may need that. You may need that Joker for some reason. And the Joker doesn't always have to be bad. Everybody looks at chaos as always bad. Why? Why do you look at change as always bad? Stop
Right.
it. Stop with the negativity. Damn, let's do some um positive influence here, okay? Quit doing that. Change is not always bad. It's a good thing. It can be a good thing. Let's quit with that one-sidedness. Oh my God, change. No, 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 no. Change is a good thing. It is a progressive thing. It means we're actually growing. And maybe one day, we actually have intelligent life in the other universes that they may actually talk to us because we
Well, and
have intelligence.
I think that attitude is really tied in with people who have a mindset that they're above nature. That I am the most evolved creature on earth. I am the most powerful creature on earth, and my will is strong, and the universe bends to my will. And yeah, kinda, but it works through the way nature works, and uh, that that idea that you are gonna be in charge of it all, it's just arrogant and it's silly. And
Yeah, try telling that to our tornado asshole.
and it's funny because there is an aspect of magic where, yeah, no, you are able to exert your will, and things will bend in the shape of what you're trying to accomplish. I mean, that's true, but it happens according to the way that the universe works, right? And that's very difficult to explain to someone that's got kind of this comic book magic view of things. Uh, and I think it's one of the areas where you mature into magic the most. And once you settle into this, it's kind of delightful. It's fun to be in harmony with the universe, much more
Hmm.
so than trying to command it all. That's exhausting.
Especially when you're trying to command a tornado and it's not doing a damn thing you want it to do. I mean, shit.
Right.
It keeps going that way and you want to go this way.
And of course, the best thing to do with that tornado is to try and put yourself into harmony with the tornado.
Right.
right? Where do I need to be so the tornado will not hurt things or hurt me, right? Things are irrelevant. We can always get new things. Um, but how do I be in harmony with this tornado? And then that's where you have just enough. The tornado zigs just a little bit, or you fall in just the right hole, right? Which may not be the way you envisioned it, but it gets the job done. And that's the good stuff. Those are the great stories.
Yeah, it doesn't put you in the Wizard of Oz.
Right. Which was a good story too. I'd buy that for $1.
Oh Lord. I really do have a fun time with people, when they come up to me and they're like, "Oh, I can command this and that." Especially when they say, "I can command death." I'm like, "Oh, really?" Okay, so I'm going to give some advice to our viewers. All right. Of all of the entities that you may call up, you may summon, you may try to control, please, the one entity you do not want to piss off. And I will tell you, the one entity you really don't want to piss off is death itself. Because death itself rules over everything. It rules over deities, it rules over entities, it rules over you, it rules over everything.
Oh,
Now let
Nikki,
that
I
sink in.
I I
Let
don't
that
think
sink
you
in. Let that
the
sink in.
Nikki, the
Just
mightier of the practitioners who may come across this program. I mean, I just don't think you appreciate how awesome they are, and I think they need
no,
to
I know, I
command
know,
death
I know. But
and
Saul,
experience
Saul,
what
let
happens
that
and
sink
tell us
in.
how it went.
No, because I've had too many people who are stupid enough to try and tell me that.
But see, this
No,
is this is
let
the
that sink
magical
in.
equivalent of the Darwin Awards.
I'm sorry, but I had to say that. I had to say that because I know there's people that's intelligent to know that watch the show. But
And
let
and
that sink in.
I just want to say to you people who feel you've got this, Nikki is holding, she's trying to hold you back, and you should show us what you got and tell us how it went. We would love to hear that story. Don't
No,
let her
you
shut
don't.
you down.
You, you don't. You don't
You
want to
know what
do
you're
that today.
doing.
No. It's just like there's three
Go.
witches on this earth you don't want to piss off. That's Dorothy Morrison, Byron Ballard, and me.
And I'm going to say, if you got it in you, you go hug that bear. You do it. Get a selfie.
And with that, that is the end of our show for today. And when you come back onto the show, we will be seeing Saul from the fifth floor of Rutherford County Asylum in the insane floor because I love him, but he's very dangerous sometimes. So embrace your power, support your community, keep your fuzzy babies, your family, your friends, and yourself safe, and have an absolute magical week.
I know some people who like to chat. I think they're witches, how about that? And every Sunday at 12 o'clock. And if you're hurting, they're willing to talk. Nikki curving with that black stone. I agree, Evermoving We Rise. Life and soul with a beautiful mind. I give you blessings under moonlight. I know some people who like to chat. I think they're witches, how about that? And every Sunday at 12 o'clock.